Yo, what's up, guys? Sorry for the long layoff. My business just started up again these past 2 weeks, so I haven't been trading too much. Um, been kind of just doing my own thing for the last few weeks. So anyway, let me go over what's recently gone on in the market. This is the spies. Let me see. All right, so I think I did a video. I think we're right here somewhere. It's been about 2 weeks or so. Anyway, we're taking a little break off of the highs, obviously. Um, came down on some pretty big volume on July 31st, August 1st, and right here. So to kind of recap over the past year, um, last October we started a big decline. Whenever there's a correction with a big red bar, meaning like the price has gone in one day, there's a wide price spread. This is, a very big bar with big volumes. That creates volatility, and that usually can last from anywhere from 2 months to like 4 or 5 months, which it did. It came down really hard and it created just volatility, right? And then once we broke this low, it even went further down. Then it finally bounced in December, and then from December till May, we went basically straight up. We corrected a couple times, small corrections, and then back in May 1st, there was another correction, but there's no wide price spread bars like this, right? So when you see that, you kind of know that this is just kind of a smaller correction versus something like this. This bar, it ignites something like this. Small bars like these, it's just people taking profit. And then once it kind of touches a certain level, which it did right here, it pretty much tested this bar right here, and then it bounced up. Well, these bars are showing kind of like this, but what's changing now is that Trump tweets, or he talks shit to people, or whatever, and that really causes people to get really jittered, and they sell right away. And so what has happened is that we came down on a lot of volume, but look at the volume coming back up. So there is no fucking crystal ball or anything, but if you see right here, we came down, and the volume coming back up, that next time it wasn't that high. But yesterday we had a huge volume up bar. So what happens is that if you come down from the top and then you bounce, a regular retracement is about 50% of this whole move, right? If we get past 61.8%, which is about 293 on the two, it's actually 294 on the spies, this can bounce and then hit around this area and then come crashing down, and it would look like something like this area, right? If we get past this point, we can creep up here and challenge these highs. Now, no one knows why the stock market follows these levels. These are Fibonacci levels. I'm not sure if the institutional algorithms just are programmed for this or whatever, but over the past 20 years, a mix of reading charts with Fibonacci levels along with ABC structures, the market you can kind of use everything to kind of gauge where the market's going. This morning we're getting a big bounce, and we're probably going to hit the 50%, and then Friday we'll probably keep on going up, and we might even hit this. And then next week is kind of kind of the telltale sign on where this market's planning to go. Beyond that, let's look at some stocks. Boeing, I know Steve was buying some Boeing. I was playing it around this area for bounces, but there's so much negative news coming out. So we're bouncing a little bit this morning, not much. It's not showing too much strength, but overall, this is the only company that makes planes. I mean, yeah, they fucked up the past 6 months or so, but there's nobody in this space. So I think it's probably gonna break down here and it'll probably go to 290 or whatever. But I think this is probably a good buy in the long term. I don't think it's going to challenge anywhere down here. I mean, it might hit this level right here, which is 250s, but I don't think so. I think it'll, at worst, it'll probably come back to about 300 and then bounce up. Once all the bad news kind of passes by and they fix that 737 problem and it just kind of goes away, I think it's just going to go up. So, Elf, I hope you guys are in this fucking stock, man. Where is it? Elf. So they came out with earnings last night and crushed it. So they're up to 18 bucks right now. I've been in since $11 right here. So I basically added this morning. This is a huge makeup company. They're in Target and everywhere else. My girlfriend has a lot of this shit. She pretty much says that this cheaper makeup stuff is way better than the shit that she buys from wherever else. So this is just going to keep on kind of going up. I think the highs are 33 bucks. It's probably planning to double. It's going to take a break at around 23. And nothing goes straight up, but I would just put some money in this and kind of fucking sock it away. Eli, I think they came out with earnings. Was it this morning? Or no, I think it's today after close. August 8th. I think it's at 4:30 today. So I added this morning on my M1 Finance account. I think I put like 500 bucks in it. Again, earnings are, basically fucking tossing a coin, but since somebody big bought in here, I'm assuming earnings are going to be, fair at worst. So I don't think it's going to come down here. I think it's going to keep this gap, and then I think this is going to be hopefully like an elf, but I think it's just going to creep back up here and kind of go from there. What else are we talking about? Adobe. This fucking stock is so slow. I was sitting up in here for a while trying to play these options and trying to play this breakout. And then it just came down crushing hard. So I jumped out, I think, on this bar right here. And from there, just monster volume came crashing down. In a long-term sense, I think it's probably just waiting for earnings, which is in September. So I think it's fine. It fell to a lot of support levels all right here. Depending on what the overall market does, it's bounced hard these past 3 days. Came down to 275 this morning. It's at 290. So I think it's gonna hold these levels. It might touch the 200-day, which is this level right here. Again, test this because it's tested it a few times. 1, 2, 3. So this is a lot of volume. Based on just looking at this quickly, I would say it's came down on a lot. It's going to bounce, and it might do an A, B to C, and then down to D, which would be right here. Not for sure, but just basically because it's come down on so much volume, it's bouncing up on lighter volume. And again, if you were to use Fibonacci right here, so it's at 50% right now ish. if it goes right here and it kind of stalls, that's kind of like a telltale sign that it's going to reverse back. And if it comes back down on a lot of volume, you can actually short this by puts or short it. And then when it gets to this level, it'll tell you whether it's going to bounce back up, or if it comes down, if it comes crashing down hard and it's doing one of these with a lot of volume like this, then it's going to break this 277 level and probably come down to about right here. So I'll be watching that. Looks like it gapped up this morning, and then it's kind of giving it up. It went up to 293 this morning, and then now it's kind of just going down. So, you know, it looked good until it just, I don't know what had happened. I don't know if there's news out or whatever, but a lot of motherfuckers ran out the door right here. So I'm not too sure what happened. What else? Eli Alf. Oh, Lending Club. I told you guys about this one. I told you it would be a good, you know, like a good buy around this area. Because someone big bought right here. So again, this is that lending firm, right? It's a peer-to-peer lending. I got in right here. I bought some options. I think I'm in a little bit of stock, I think. And how the whole bullshit market works, people know that this is an up-and-coming company. They sell off right before earnings, which was last week, and they pushed this thing down, and they came out with earnings. I think it was last night, and they're proving that they're not losing money anymore. So that was your trigger. This earnings. So their estimate was -12. They lost -10. So the surprise was that they're losing less money than the market expects. So I think from here on out, this stock's only 15 bucks. So this is a, you know, a newer age company, and I think we're kind of going to creep up. You know, it's not going to go straight up, I don't think, but shit, we're up from the lows. It went down to 12.67. I have $16 calls, which is right here. So hopefully it'll kind of bust through, and you know, I'm gonna start buying stock probably this week. I think it's gonna take a rest at around 16 bucks, and it's gonna slowly just gonna come up. So, you know, I think I might have bought in my M1. I think I might have purchased 500 shares $500 of shares this morning, and then per week I'm just gonna keep adding. You know, 100 bucks here, 50 bucks there. You know, whatever. But I think this is a company that's changing. You can even look at this as a reverse Head and Shoulders. Left shoulder, the low was about 13 bucks. This is the head, the low was 12.43. This is the right shoulder, low was 12.69. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, and I think it's kind of going to do one of these. Again, it has to straighten itself out. It has a lot of, you know, buyers and sellers, but the fact that they're no longer losing the money that they've been, you know, they lost 20 cents there, and you know, it's brand new kind of company. So anyway, I think that's it. Beyond, that's that Beyond Meats, that fake meat. I'm shorting this right now. It opened at, you know, 50 bucks or some shit, and it went to 238. I think it topped out, which is fucking crazy. So apparently this is a brand new company. They're signing contracts with whoever, but it, you know, it went up insane. So I got in short right here at, you know, 180. So I think it's going to come down to 150s. There was a secondary offering, I think, last week. So it's kind of fucking all of the bears. So they came out with a secondary at like 160, which is basically saying that, you know, that the stock isn't worth 240, obviously. So that they were offering themselves the stock at 160. So that basically tells you that this company is worth no more than, you know, what it opened at, which was 45 bucks. So I think it's going to come down here to 120. within the next week or two or three. I don't know. But anyway, man, if you guys have any questions, give me a call. Peace.